My name is Michael, and in this tutorial I'm going to be making an implant guide on the lower model using Blender 2.83 LTS, and we're using 3D Slicer 4.11. I will be as thorough as what I can be and explain all of the procedures involved. So this may be a little bit of a lengthy video, but there's a lot of insight and learning in this video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import our diagram scan. So I have 3D Slice on the left, halfway, and I have Blender on the right hand side. Usually I work with two screens, then I've got 3D Slicer on one screen and Blender on the other screen. This makes it way simpler. Alright, let's get started. We're going to go up top here, DCM, then import your file, click on it and load it. Now we have the CT scan inside 3D Slicer. We can work with this now. The first thing we need to do is we need to create a segmentation model so that we can align this model to the segmentation model. So we're going to go to the editor. This is this icon with a pencil here is the editor. We're going to add a segment and we're going to go to threshold. And in this threshold, we're going to, let me expand this window a little bit. We're going to take this slider and move it along. Now, the object here is to get a compromise between too much noise, which is this, and too little, which means a skinny, small object, which is not correct. So we're looking at the boundaries. Over here, we can click on that, which gives us a crosshair. And then when we use Shift on the keyboard and move our mouse, it will follow in each and every slice. When you click down the right mouse button and move the mouse, we will be able to zoom in and zoom out. And the mouse wheel can move through the slice. Watch the slider, how it's moving through the slice as I'm rolling the mouse wheel. Once I've got the model, I will then apply this and we're going to export this one out. Now 3D Slicer has models and segments. It's important not to mix up those two. So this is a segment. This is not an STL model. You can convert it into an STL model, but in this video we don't need to do this. There's a little eye which we can toggle on and off, and we can name this as well. Let's just name this ICP, which is the ICP alignment model, I'd like to call that. The following thing is we can make this visible in the 3D viewer up top here, and that's very easy done. Show 3D. Now you will have to have applied this segmentation, which we have done previously. Show 3D, and this just takes a little bit of time to calculate. So once we have this, we've got our model. Notice how we've got a lot of noise happening here as well. So we've got a few options. If we'd like to, we can cut this out, or we can cut this out with a pair of scissors. Let's do this. So grab yourself a pair of scissors. Make sure you click on Erase Outside. so everything on the inside is being kept. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make a line like this, like that, and let it do its thing. Let us turn this. Now you can't turn it with the scissors invoked. So just click on None and then left click down and move your mouse. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part now. Again, pair of scissors, and we're going to exclude the stuff that we don't want. That should do it. Again, click on None so that you can move this object. Now we still have a few little bits and pieces here. What we can do is we can get rid of these islands, they are called. So you can click on Islands and click on Keep Largest Island. See, that's gotten rid of that piece. So you can experiment with all of these goodies if you want to. So let us export this. This is our alignment model. We're going to go to the segmentation, export to files, and make sure, absolutely sure of a few things. First, we're going to select the folder we wanted to export to. So let's find the folder. Choose your folder. Make sure that all of these are unchecked, and the most important, it needs to say coordinate system RAS. Now there have been numerous users have this one LPS selected, which means that all of your alignment is going to be to the incorrect orientation, and then you have to start from the beginning. So please make sure this says RAS. Export. Then we're going to import it. File, import, STL, search for your segmentation model, which is in this folder, and import. Please note that these are very large models with a lot of vertices. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So here we go, and note that the vertices are almost 2 million vertices. Now this can slow down Blender, especially if you have an entire human skull in there. So we always have to manage our objects correctly. So what we're going to do is we've got quite a nice clean model. If we want to keep this model, we can decimate it. So what is decimate? In our model designer, we have a button called reduce file. So in the model designer, reduce model file, and we're going to click it. So this is going to take a little bit of time to do. So after this, we can see that it is 1 million, which is still very large, but let's keep it at that. Next thing we want to do is we want to align this lower model to the top. But remember, we have another model with it, which is the top model. And we want the top model to follow. And the way we follow that is we can parent this. So in order to parent a model, we need to left click on the model. This is going to be the child, and this is going to be the parent. So I'm going to left click on that one, and then we're going to shift left click on the other one. So the lower model is going to be in orange and the other one is in red. Then we're going to, on the keyboard, Control P, and then note on the left hand side it says Control P. Then click on Object. This now means that wherever I move this one, the other one will follow, even if it is hidden away. And in order to do this correctly, I want to hide this upper model away. But we're going to just turn this one so that we can sort of see certain landmarks. So I'll take this model with the G and the R key, something like this, and we're going to sort of align it so that I can actually visualize these things. I'm going to hide this one by clicking the H key on the keyboard. So now I've got a good view of both of these models. Please do not move this one at all. If you accidentally move it, the alignment will be out. So what I do recommend is we can lock this model. So in the model designer, click on the lock. So what that does is in the item menu, you'll see all these locks have been invoked. If we unlock it, then all of these locks have disappeared. So let's lock this just to make sure nothing moves by mistake. Now that the upper one is hidden, we can move this one any way we like, and the upper model is going to follow. Now we're going to do the ICP alignment. Go to your alignment module. Now this alignment module looks a bit different to what you have because we have not released it yet. This is quite easy to use. This one becomes a moving object, and this one is a destination object. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place a few points called landmarks. So I'm going to click on Place Landmarks, and we're going to select a few common areas like this canine, for example. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use this canine, for example, and maybe on that molar, like that. Okay, so it is important always to think about the Z direction, which is this one, and the X direction and this direction. It's almost like we're trying to put a box around it. At the moment we have a plane on it. So let us select a few points, or maybe another 1 point, so that we can get the X direction we can do. So I'm going to select this specific point over here, like that. Alright, so enter. To confirm that, we're going to select our destination and place the same points. So we've got one, and we've got another one here, another one at the molar, and then we've got one over here, I believe. And then enter on the keyboard, and then what we're going to do is select both and perform initial alignment. Okay, so that was done. That was really fast. So once we've done that, we're going to perform our ICP alignment. Okay, and this will fine-tune this alignment. So here we go. Now we have an option to refine this even more if we want to do that. In edit mode, I will just explain what's happened. These points that we initially put down have painted our surfaces, our objects, on both the moving and the destination object. So let us just refine this proximity even further. And then perform ICP one more time. So here I think we've got quite a nice alignment. We can color map this even if we want to, and we can see we've got quite a few blue. Now you can't get it 100% blue because note that the segmentation model is a little bit bigger or smaller than our actual model, but this seems to be okay. So I'm going to exit the color map and we can then continue. So if I click Alt H, we've got the top model exactly where we want it to be. Following this, we should put teeth into our gap. So let's get down and do this. In the guide module, we're going to hide the top model and we're going to import hollow teeth. Now we need a little molar in here, and we need, so that would be the tooth 3/6. Choose teeth. So this one here we need, and then we need the 4/6 and 4/5 and 4/6. 4/5 and 4/6. Delete unwanted. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to view this from the top. Hit the tilde key from the top and rotate it. And we're going to put these in position. So at the moment they're all joined. We can take them separate. S to scale, R to rotate, and place it into that gap. This is going to be quite a small molar. And likewise on this one, G to move, R to rotate. Now if we move this to this side, we need to still move them down the Z axis like that. And we're going to do the same with this molar. That's looking good. Now I would always like to use colors for object management. This is very important so we can manage them correctly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give these a color. So in the implant planning, we've got the color. We've got the color in the model designer as well. They all do the same thing. So let us choose a color. And we can make this like a bluish color. And if you want to copy a color from one tooth to the next, simply left click, shift left click, and shift left click the one with color at the end. Then Control L on your keyboard, and then we're going to copy the materials. You see how it automatically takes on the same color. But I would like to have these a little bit transparent, so I'm going to click on this color and set this to say 0.6 or so, or 0.7, so we can sort of see through this. Also we want to do the same thing for the model, so let's choose a color as well. We can keep it white, or we can make it a little bit of a different color like this. And again, I'd like to have it sort of semi-translucent so we can visualize the implants underneath it. Now in theory, if we transport this across to 3D Slicer, they should be in the exact position.